I scored some major swag. A little taste for you.
Tony Soprano isn't an anti-hero, he's a parasite, and Christopher Moltisanti is his final meal. Christopher Moltisanti is the Sopranos' most quietly devastating tragedy.
We also care about Chris and want to help him with his heroin addiction.
A man drowning in ambition, loyalty, and heroin in equal measure. His entire arc feels like a prolonged collapse, a slow-motion suffocation under the weight of his own contradictions. He spends the series chasing an impossible dream, to earn Tony Soprano's respect, while still believing himself destined for something better: art, meaning, redemption. Naturally, the universe of The Sopranos punishes such delusions. Christopher's tragedy lies in his impossible duality.
He's got some interest in screenwriting.
An artist trapped in a gangster's body. A man desperate to write scripts about the life he can't stop living. Every attempt to escape, sobriety, writing, love, is met with sabotage, often from Tony himself.
Business. You're gonna jinx me? Toast for water?
Sobriety, in particular, is treated less like a triumph and more like treason. Tony, who has spent years in therapy without evolving an inch, cannot stomach the sight of someone genuinely trying to change. His resentment is almost primal. When Christopher chooses not to drink, Tony sees it as weakness, as a betrayal of the social contract that binds these men together in mediocrity. Improvement makes the stagnant deeply uncomfortable, and Tony, a man allergic to growth, ensures that no one around him rises higher than he can tolerate.
Civilians. Their bosses find out they slipped, they get a plane ticket to Minnesota. Tony...
The forced rehabilitation under threat of death is one of the crueler ironies of Christopher's story. He is ordered to get clean, but then mocked, belittled, and undermined for doing exactly that. In the twisted logic of mob life, sobriety is an act of rebellion. It separates him from the boys at the Bing, from the ritual of intoxicated bravado that defines their manhood. In that world, a sober man is a mirror, and nobody in Tony's crew wants to see their reflection. Yet to sanctify Christopher would be dishonest.
Oh, life contour, get the...
His brutality toward Adriana, his unrelenting self-pity, his indulgent tantrums, all of it confirms that he was no misunderstood poet forced into sin. He was a violent, impulsive addict who repeatedly chose destruction over escape.
I'll be back in a little while.
Stay, wait!
Adriana offered him a way out, and he repaid her with betrayal and murder. It is hard to weep for a man who traded his soul for a seat at Tony's table, then complained that the meal made him sick. Still, The Sopranos refuses to let us dismiss him so easily. For every act of cruelty, there is a flicker of yearning.
I scored some major swag. A little taste for you.
Consider the moment in Luxury Lounge when Christopher brings Tony a basket of stolen gifts. A woman's watch, perfume, a purse for a small dog. Each item echoes Adriana, the ghost who haunts him long after her disappearance. Whether intentional or not, the gesture reveals a man still tethered to what he destroyed. He cannot stop carrying the remnants of a life he forfeited.
I'm gonna get high.
His relapse at the carnival is perhaps the show's most poetic depiction of addiction. A man alone in the midst of bright lights and laughter, spiraling inward as the world twinkles around him. The montage, his silhouette darkening as the lights extinguish one by one, is a visual eulogy.
Look at this fucking...
His trip to Italy, spent in a heroin den instead of embracing the ancestral homeland, mirrors the same theme. Given beauty, he chooses decay.
Church filled up.
In the end, Tony kills Christopher not out of rage, but inconvenience. The car crash offers a perfect metaphor. Christopher's recklessness threatening the life Tony still pretends to protect. A tree branch through a child's car seat is all it takes for Tony to decide his surrogate son has become a liability. One quick pinch of the nose and the problem is solved. Christopher dies as he lived, betrayed by the man he worshipped, repeating the same familial cycle that damned him from the start. What makes Christopher's death so haunting is that it feels like the inevitable conclusion of his existence. Long before Tony suffocated him, the life had already done the job. His spirit was eroded by the endless pull between who he was and who he wanted to be. And in true Soprano fashion, the show offers no redemption, only the bitter satisfaction of symmetry. He dies the same way his father did, killed by someone he trusted, leaving behind a child who will grow up never knowing him.
Phil and Joanne.
Christopher Moltisanti was not a hero, nor even a particularly competent gangster. He was a weak, selfish, sometimes monstrous man. But his tragedy is that he knew it. He saw the rot clearly, and lacked the strength to step out of it. That awareness, the self-loathing, the desperate flashes of longing for a better self, makes him one of the most painfully human characters ever written for television. In the end, he never had the makings of a varsity athlete, but he had the makings of a poet. And in Tony Soprano's world, that's a death sentence. Christopher wanted to write movies. You can just click subscribe.